guys from Yonkers Voice. Once again, thank you for watching. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate your support. And that's what drives it, what propels Yonkers Voice to keep moving forward. Well, today we have Gail Baxter. Gail Baxter, most people know, but I will say a few words about Gail. Gail is a retired parent coordinator from the Yonkers Public School System. She's been retired for some time now, right, Gail?
10 years.
10 years. But somehow, she's stuck on people's minds. So when they need somebody, when they need an advocate to help resolve issues, they come to Gail. Gail contacted us a few days ago about an issue that she feels it's important. Not for her personally, but for some people, parents. And I'm sure that there is a lot of people that are having that problem.
Absolutely.
It's not one person. I'm sure that there are other people. But Yonkers Voice is not just a platform where people can come and talk about the issues that they might having. Yes, we can do that, but we also try to find solutions.
That's right.
For those problems. We want to be a place where people can talk about issues and we can at the same time find solutions or at least help them towards the steps of finding a solution.
Exactly.
Okay, so Gail, tell us, why are we here today? What is the problem? And what have you done?
Ruth, thanks for letting me take up this time to talk to parents and stakeholders. I have reached a point in my life and as an advocate where I just feel that based on everything going on around us globally, it's trickling down in a way that further complicates parents' ability to navigate certain situations. Today, I want to just describe a case that I've been working with, and as an advocate, I try to see both sides. And by seeing both sides, when someone contacts me, I can give them the position of the Yonkers Public Schools, because at the time of their call, they are angry with the Yonkers Public Schools. So I have street creds in the sense that I know many of the administrators. I have worked under several superintendents. I've had my favorites. But at the end of the day, I want parents to know that it's about your child and what the Yonkers Public School expects from you. And many times when I am contacted, parents, stakeholders have their version, which is correct, but it doesn't coincide with district policies.
No, Gail, I don't want you to go too further because I want to get in between and ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
Well, I have interviewed Dr. Casada a few times. I know I have spoken to him a few times, and we had one interview. He tells us that he cares about the school system in Yonkers, and he cares very much about the kids in Yonkers. And I personally have no reason to doubt him.
Right.
Okay? I really believe that that is happening. Now, there is issues, there is always cause, because no organization is able to keep everyone within that organization happy at all the times.
That's correct.
Now, when you get a call from someone, a parent, how do you vet it to know that that is a valid point, a valid problem? Because I know that every parent wants the best for his own child,
Yes.
no doubt.
Well, first of all, I've been doing this for 3 decades, beginning with my custody of my grandson, who was diagnosed with multiple disabilities, and doctors really believed he would not live beyond 2 years. So, number one, Dr. Casada cares about the kids. And parents, this is his mantra. And this, when you see him, his version is, don't come complaining to me. And what have you done for a child today? And I love that vision. But it's difficult because the district is cash strapped. We don't have the support services and personnel that we need to operate where everybody is happy.
Now, you called me about a specific issue.
Yes.
Okay, and my style, Baxter, Gail, is that once we hear somebody's concerns, where it involves other people, another side, we always try to reach out to both sides to know, okay, I hear your concern, now let me talk to the other side and hear their version, or if they are aware of this concern. We did call the Yonkers Public School 2 days ago, or yesterday or the day before. So can you voice or explain what is the concern that you and I spoke about on the phone?
Okay, I'm here using this one case as an example, and I have dubbed it the cost of doing nothing. I have a family with 2 disabled children who are not able to get to school on their own and live within the 1.5-mile radius. I have walked along with the parents, finally suggesting that the school physician see them to determine whether or not they are qualified for transportation inside the 1.5-mile radius.
Have they done that? Have the parents went to the kid's doctor?
Yes.
Okay, because this is what I am told. I am told from the Yonkers Public School that they look at these cases on one-by-one case, child by child, because there is kids with all types of problems, health issues. Some cannot walk 100 feet.
Right.
Others are able to walk 1,000 feet. So they have to determine who is who. Because as you say, this is cash-strapped. We don't have the resources to help every single kid.
Absolutely.
So they have to make a determination on who needs their help and who doesn't need that help. And this is what I'm told. And I'm not going to debate on this with you because you know much better about the policy than I would ever know. Okay? I am told that once a kid or a parent feels that the kid cannot, for whatever reasons, walk that mile, 1.5 miles.
Right, 30 blocks.
Is that 30 blocks? If the kid cannot do that, he needs to go to his doctor, correct? He needs to get a statement from his doctor. Then he needs to go to the Yonkers Public Schools or the board and request that an evaluation with their own doctors to make a determination on the issue. If that determination is not satisfactory to you, then the parent can go to one of the meetings for the board itself.
Yes, the stated meeting.
Yes. Have they done that? The parent that we spoke about, have they done all those steps?
Yes, absolutely. And let me just say, those steps are often and always described by me. My mantra, now I gave you Dr. Casada's mantra, what have you done for a child today? My mantra to parents is, know the game you're in and play that game, which means that they need to know the district's parameter. No, the school district is not required at this point, although Dr. Casada said there is a bill pending about lessening the mileage. The parents got their doctor's note, went to the school district's physician, got an approval for that person. That person went to transportation and said, transport these children. Okay, everybody did their job. The advocate did their job, the parent did their job, and now let's talk about that referral. Well, one, I subsequently learned that there are no buses in the area, and according to Dr. Cadero's report, said transport them by district policy. I was outraged to learn that the bus stop for those boys is a mile away from their home, and the accommodation was made because they can't walk a mile.
What, you mind me asking why they cannot walk a mile?
They're chronically asthmatic.
And there is thousands of kids with asthma.
Absolutely, and Dr. Cadero and I have worked in the past.
And we cannot give transportation for every kid that has asthma problem. I'm sure that all those parents want
No,
door-to-door transportation,
No.
but that's just not possible.
Well, let me add to that tier. There are parents who walk small children to school who are asthmatic and can't get the child to school. The district does not provide an accommodation for that parent by transporting that child. It is very convoluted, Rue, and you're sitting here asking me questions that I go over and over and over with parents to make sure that their case is unique. A lot of people talk to me in the supermarket. They talk to me, I'm just talked to everywhere. Oh, I recognize that voice. I was in City Hall yesterday and talking to a friend, and a lady who I've never seen said, wait, I recognize that voice. So it's scary. And at 74, I am starting to pull back, but I feel that I have the fiduciary obligation, having worked in the district, having worked for superintendents, having worked with families, to say what I know. We may have to inculcate classes so parents know. But why I'm angry, when I'm here today, PTAs in individual buildings should be available to speak to parents. Let's talk about that. What is the purpose of a council that alleges it has 40 units?
But before we go into PTA and other
It's the
issues.
same thing, transportation.
Yes, but let's talk about this specific case.
Oh, okay.
Okay, let's stay focused on that one. Then we can open up
No
about
problem.
other stuff. These kids, now you're telling me that, okay, parents did what they had to do.
Check.
Doctor did what they had to do.
Check.
Went back to the Board of Education.
Check.
Back to the doctor of Board of Education to certify.
Check.
Now they got transportation. They got it.
They have
they
it.
got it.
Right.
To go from 1.5 miles. The problem is they have to walk a mile to go to that, to get transportation for the 0.5.
Right.
Correct?
That's it. You and one other person understands why this is so heinous, but it's really very sad because I'm sure the Board of Education has already told me, and I have said to parents, there is no bus in that area. I don't know if the district has to consign another bus. However, what really raised my hair in discussing this matter with the transportation director, Erica Lacey, she says to me, if we put a bus in their area, do you know how many kids we'll have to put on that bus?
Yeah, and?
That's what I'm saying. How is this my problem? As a stakeholder and advocate for the community, yes, we need money. But parents don't participate in the process, and either they throw their hands up, they move out, or they have a very low esteem of their child's building and the district. And that, I feel, is very unfair to the Yonkers Public Schools, because I know the staff, right down to the classroom aides and the lunchroom ladies, they are working double time to hold our district up. And there are many parents who don't have this message.
Well, this is like a sword with a double
Two-sided
two-sided sword. We want this and we want that.
Right.
And I understand the concerns of the parents, but to fulfill and to comply with all these wants, okay, and that's just not, I'm not talking about just the schools.
Right.
I'm talking about, everybody's
Everything.
concerns, everything that involves Yonkers and the people of Yonkers. If we were to get all the wants, guess what? There is an invoice that comes with all those wants.
It's even worse than that, let me tell you, and this is my other concern. The parents have been coping, and they're financially limited to drive the kids back and forth to school. Early morning calls from the parents, we really don't have the money to get the gas. End of the story is both boys have racked up high attendance absences. The district thrives on attendance, people, and that's why that is the one factor that really should keep parents in check. As I explained to the parents, the district has a policy where you have to attend class, and when you're absent X amount of days, that almost becomes a CPS referral. Now, whether it's founded, when the CPS people go there and they describe the transportation woes and we can't get the boys back and forth, CPS says, okay, so we understand that you're not woefully keeping your kids home. However, that parent is stuck with that indication until the youngest child in their home is 27. You have no idea of the blowback that I have had from parents who have been referred to CPS. I've even gone to hearings on behalf of parents with them that they lose their job. They're in jobs that they can't have that kind of indication.
So there's a whole bunch of implications
Under
to
transportation.
this that people don't understand the impact of this whole mess.
That's why I'm here.
And there is another implication, because if these kids cannot go to school, then they're not getting the education that they need to get in order to succeed in life. So they are the casualties of this war.
Absolutely. And it's very sad because initially my short circuit thought was to maybe bring both boys together so that the parents wouldn't have to go to this school and that school that are a distance apart. Then I tried to see if they could get a transfer. The district doesn't do transfers very likely, and the school that your child is in by early October, they're there unless something egregious happens. So I couldn't get them transferred.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody hearing this story like you would not know the underlying factors that go into transporting a child and the negative fallout that occurs when that child can't get to school. But on behalf of these two boys, they have a special ed program that they can get to. Now that becomes a legal liability for the district because we can't get to school. We have attendance absences. Our parents can't help us. These kids were home yesterday playing video games because the parents' resource broke down. So, it could go on, and that's where I feel...
Yeah, but the kids are home. I remember when my kids were younger, okay? And once in a while they were sick and they would stay home, or for whatever reason, not many days, but like any
Sure.
kid. The fact that they stayed home did not mean they're going to stay home playing games.
That gets into whether the district will respect their situation. The parent knows that they are able to get all of the work. In this case, I personally will go to every school and get the work and make sure the work is completed. But when we talk about helping parents, we have 27,000 children. And I always smile to myself when I go to events, the district puts out information, there are 10 people. 10 people. And so my role here is to encourage, if we could talk again, about other issues. Transportation is the most daunting at this time, and my next conversation would be about school placement.
Good enough. We know we're going to break these in many episodes and talk about issues that are affecting parents,
Right.
okay, and kids. But since we have a few more minutes, but we also need to talk about the importance of parents' education. We need to connect certain dots, okay? Look, we have a page on Yonkers Voice, and if we put, we have multiple platforms on Yonkers Voice, and we had topics that talk about the lunch at school.
That's another issue.
Okay? Because the kid ate this and the kid should have eaten this, and we have thousands of comments. In the meanwhile, I talked to some of those parents that are complaining about the lunch, and I said, look, you have a valid point about the lunch. Kids should eat healthy. But now let me ask you another question that has nothing to do with lunch. Education is also important, and so is PTA meetings. When was last time you were at the PTA meeting? Oh, well, I work late, I work this, I do that. In the meantime, you see those parents at the time they're supposed to be a PTA meeting, maybe in a bar somewhere.
No priority.
Lack of priority. They don't have time for the important things, for things that really matter. But they have plenty of time for things that...
Well, first of all, let me correct you.
Please.
Many of our parents...
I'm not saying all, okay? I'm just talking...
Yeah. No, I understand, because the people that we are referencing, it's not one or two people. It's hundreds. And the point is that parents have to feel like they have skin in the game. Many of the parents that call me are young parents who they themselves did not have a smooth educational pathway. Some tell me, Miss Baxter, I graduated. And some of the kids that I have advocated for, I now meet that child in the supermarket with their child. And Miss Baxter, what pre-K program? I can't believe it. So time goes on and our community improves when everybody is on the same page. My purpose again for being here is to say I'm always willing to help you. My number is listed. You get to me somehow, and staff will give you my name. And I know that if Dr. Casada heard this, he would cringe, because a lot of my referrals come from principals whose identity I protect, because they have run into a wall. Principals are terrific here. They are terrific, maybe with the exception of one or two, but I know that the end game for everybody in this district is Yonkers Public Schools, fourth largest school district in the state. We should be rolling. We should be rocking.
Now, Gail, we're coming to the conclusion of this episode. We have about 30 minutes and, time went fast. I know there is many other things that we should talk about, but I want to take these last 5 minutes to give you an opportunity to say whatever you want to say, not necessarily about the transportation, but about anything that you think it's important. I think we have many issues. This equation has many components.
Yes.
Okay? It has a component with parents that don't know themselves, much less to teach another child, because they both childs themselves very often. They didn't have the foundation necessary to understand and to raise a child properly. So how can we fix this?
Well, my feeling is, and I don't know why I'm popular or people remember me, but the point is, and I've said it on many cases, when the parent calls me and I ask them, have they spoken to this staff in their building, they don't believe them, because they're part of the system that they're fighting. So they'll come to me and I'll say, I'm retired. Yes, I remember you. And I am grateful to the respect, although I now understand that there is an administrator, ranking administrator, who's indicated that she will no longer deal with Gail Baxter. And these administrators bamboozle parents to deal with them, and they get let down. And then they come to me. And then when I make the call, all the administrators have been more than courteous. But let me tell you, you have to play the game you're in. That involves finding a way, finding a group, finding your common friends, and maybe we can start something if you are not aligned to PTA. There's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. If the superintendent is banging his head for success of the district and the mayor is trying to scrape together money we don't have, then what are we talking about? So I'm here to share with you what I've learned in 30 years and to share with you my resources in getting the problem addressed. My goal is to make sure that everybody comes out of a situation intact. You may not like the outcome, but you're good with it. The administration may not want to make those concessions, but we're good. That's how we have to operate in Yonkers. Otherwise, the inequities of the system is going to become more obvious because there'll be kids who are not achieving.
So guys, learn the policies, learn the procedures, learn how things are done. Like Gail said, you need to know the rules of the game in order to play the game. 30 minutes with Gail Baxter. Thank you, Gail.
Thank you.
I hope that this interview was beneficial to you. A lot of information. You heard some issues. And if you are having some issues yourself, please leave us a comment. Follow us on Facebook. Ask your friends to do the same. Check us out on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. We're everywhere. So we are here for you. Yonkers Voice is not just a place where you come and talk about problems. This is a place where we hope we can find some solutions for those problems. And if we don't have an answer for you, we will try to get an answer for you at a later time.
Right.
Thank you, Gail.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Stay tuned for more. Until next time.